It's seed starting time! In many parts of the country, it is time to be starting seeds. So I thought I would share with you all today my seed starting setups. And I've got several different ones from fairly basic to pretty elaborate. So let's take a look. So my first and most basic seed starting setup is this. And what this is just a single light frame where you can hang, this originally came with a single T5 fluorescent bulb fixture. I actually switched it out to a full spectrum LED, but you can see it just hangs from this bar here and you can adjust the height. And then underneath I can fit 2 seedling flats. And if you only have a small amount of seedlings to start, this works great. As you can see, this fits right on my dining room table. Doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and you can even get these that are half the size, just enough to do 1 flat. So here you can see the original setup. This is one of those same jumpstart lights with the original light on it, just a single fluorescent bulb. And it has adjustable strings here that hold the light. So here's the same thing, but it's half the size, so you can fit 1 seedling flat under here. Now here I've got a 3-tiered growing rack. So this was an all-in-one unit. It comes with the shelves, the trays, the lights, everything is all together already. This one was actually a hand-me-down, so I'm not even sure of the make and model, but there are a lot of similar units available online. And as I mentioned, this came with the lights. So it's got 3 of these kind of standard grow lights. They've got 4 fluorescent bulbs per unit. And then it also has 3 levels where these trays fit in. You basically set them in and they rest on this metal lip here. So it came with these tan trays that fit right in this space. This light is adjustable. You simply unscrew it to loosen it, and you can move it up and down depending on where you need it in position to your seedlings. And overall, it does the job. Now, I have had one big complaint with this unit, and it's that the design seems to be such that the lights are actually not wide enough to cover the entire space of my seedling flats. So they do fine for germinating seeds and for small seedlings, but once my seedlings get up an inch or 2, I can tell that they're struggling. The ones on the outside are struggling to reach this light because they'll be stunted and they will start to grow inward. So ideally, this light would be at least as wide as my growing shelf here. I'm not sure why they designed this rack this way, but it's been a source of annoyance ever since I started using it. So this year I decided to set up my own growing rack. And finally, this is my in the works homemade seed starting rack. So I decided to construct this thing for a couple of different reasons. First, because of the frustrations I mentioned with my prefab unit and the grow lights not reaching the entirety of my seedling flats. And secondly, because I wanted the flexibility to experiment with different types of light. So what I did was just go out and get a metal shelving unit from my local big box store. I think this came from Menards. And I just tried to get dimensions that would fit as closely as possible to the size of my standard seedling trays. And so far I've just got 1 set of lights on here. You can probably tell by the weird purplish glow, these are the red and blue spectrum LED lights, which look totally trippy, and I'm surprised I haven't been busted yet for suspected growing of something I shouldn't be growing in my basement. It's just spinach. But my plan is to add to each of these levels basically a different type of grow light and really test and see which one does the best for the money. I've got this big boy that I'm going to attach to the bottom, and this one has 6 fluorescent lights in it, and same thing, I will just hang this from the metal rack. So basically I'm just starting with S-hooks and a good heavy-duty chain. I might actually use this one for this guy because he's pretty heavy. And then I come through these rungs, loop it around. Most all of these lights have some kind of a hanger on them that you can loop your chains through. And then your S-hook's just going to allow you to adjust that light to where you need it. And hook that up like so. And so now you can see I've got this one. hanging and ready to put seedling flats underneath there. Now I'm waiting on a few replacement bulbs. I think this one had about 4 blown bulbs, so I just ordered some replacements, and those will be in later in the week so I can get this thing up and running. You can see over here I've got another type of grow light, so that's another fluorescent one, but I've attached it the same way, just with these chains and little S hooks here. So you can see how that guy puts out a lot of light when he's on. So I can fit another seedling flat underneath here. And then when I find a third type of grow light to test out, I have this space up here that I can attach more lights to. So if anybody has any favorite suggestions, be sure to let me know. So one thing you may be curious about in regards to lights and seed starting is whether a grow light or supplemental light of any kind is really necessary. Like, why can't we just put our seedling trays in a sunny window and let the sun and nature do its work? Well, you can, but I will say that in a lot of growing areas, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, during the time when we are starting a lot of our seeds, especially like January, February, March, even into April, we do not get the length of daylight that is optimal for seedlings. So usually you're looking at putting lights on your seedlings like 10 to 12 hours a day. Some people even do more than that. And I don't know about you, but where I live through the winter, we're not even reaching that 10-hour a day mark during the darkest days. And add to that the fact that a lot of our winter days are very, very cloudy and gloomy. We're not getting a lot of full bright sunlight. And you may also not have a really great spot in your house that's getting nice south-facing sun during the winter. So all of those are factors to consider when you're making a decision whether to buy grow lights. I will tell you personally, just in my own experience, supplementing with grow lights has made such a difference in the success of my seedlings that I would recommend it to everyone. I think it really, really helps to get good, strong growth on those young seedlings, which will ultimately give you better success when you go to transplant them out in the garden. And if you find content like this helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, Growfully with Jenna. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.